Hello Gemini, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self? As I do in all of my readings, I pulled the overall energy and clarified those messages as well as the overall theme for the reading, which we'll jump into in just a second, but I still have the tarot deck I'll be using, the clarification deck, and the advice deck I will be using to close out the reading in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. All right, Gemini, let's jump on in. In your recent past, excuse me, you have the past with the Ten of Swords here. I feel like what this is saying is this doesn't just extend to your recent past. I feel as if this is kind of stretching even further back than that. I feel as if you've been through a lot. And with this Ten of Swords here, I feel as if you've experienced quite a bit of pain in this lifetime, maybe starting in childhood or just throughout your life in general, just experiencing more than a lot of people have, which has given you a lot to have to overcome. Now, when we, I will say, I think that a lot of time the hardest things that we go through can often set us up for the best experiences when we're able to really fully heal from those. That's just coming from personal experience and ultimately, transmuting our pain into good experiences, which I feel is a lot of what this reading is about, because in your current energy, you have release blocks with the Six of Cups. So right now is a time of not letting your past and what you've experienced in your past hold you back. We are not what has happened to us. We are not our trauma or the things that we've had to endure. We are what we choose to do with those experiences and who we choose to become. And I feel as if, sometimes it can be so hard to break out of a reality that you're so used to, when you're used to pain and trauma and betrayal and just heartbreak and things of that nature. It can be really hard to imagine that you're ever going to experience anything else. But the universe is here through this reading to tell you that you absolutely can. The overall theme for this reading is guides. So I feel as if your spiritual team really needs you to know these messages so that you can move forward in a better way for yourself. In your immediate future, you have protection with the Five of Swords. The universe is saying, your spiritual team is saying you are so divinely protected, but you don't trust that, and I will say, when we go through a lot of hard things in our life, especially in childhood or just really painful experiences in general, it's hard to believe that the universe has had our back, because we can go, why would the universe put me through something like that? How was that ever beneficial for me? And we might not understand it at the time, but I truly believe that we can take every negative experience and turn it into something positive. Maybe we help others heal who are going through those same experiences. Maybe it becomes our purpose. Maybe that the healing that we go through transforms us into the person that we need to be to ultimately live the life that we desire. We always have a choice when we go through really difficult periods. We can either allow those periods or those situations to define us, and we can become what has hurt us and identify with that pain to such an extent that we never really move through it, or we can choose to try our best to transmute it to something positive. And either way, is going to determine your outcome. But that's just overall energy. So let's dive into what's really going on here, Gemini. Let's start with looking at the past with this Ten of Swords here. Recent past for Gemini, please. Because it kind of feels, okay, yeah, hang on, something that I'll read those messages in a second, but if you can't see it from right there, these energies are very dark. It's a very dark, color scheme there, but then in this future energy, it's very bright. It's like coming back to the light, coming back into the light. Whatever this period in your life has been, I feel like it's been very purposeful And I feel as if you'll see that in the future at some point. But here's a Tower. So yeah, I feel like, there's been a lot of, because the Tower is the representation of really intense, emotionally triggering experiences, emotionally heightened experiences. And I feel as if there were quite a few of these maybe in your past, not just, I don't think this is talking about one specific event. It could very well be, if, remember this is a general reading, but I feel as if this Tower, it held this purpose of almost like being the cornerstone, or like the foundation of your healing in some way, shape, or form. I feel as if a lot of what this is trying to say is like your pain and what you've been through has a purpose. It wasn't all for nothing. It wasn't all in vain. However, with this Hierophant in reverse here, there's a different perspective that's needing to be taken on what you've been through, which isn't always an easy thing to do, because this Five of Wands it's this energy of like, I feel like it's just chaos and one thing after another, and it's almost like the universe is trying to break you out of that cycle so that you can experience the good that is truly meant for you. Gemini's recent past. Let's just get more on what you're dealing with here, because yeah, it just feels like one thing after another, very painful experiences. Okay, Three of Wands. Hang on, I want to clarify this Three of Wands, because I can't. It's like you spent so much time waiting on things to get better, on things to improve, but it just feels like you kind of were stuck in this Ten of Swords energy, or when things would improve, like things would be difficult again. Yeah, so it made it really hard for you to trust. Seven of Wands in reverse, to trust yourself, to trust the universe here, because it feels like, and I already kind of said this, when we're in places where we're experiencing just like one negative thing after another, it's hard to be like, oh yeah, I'm supported, by the universe. The universe has my back. I don't know. I just feel as if it's like, yeah, a lot of waiting for things to improve or get better, but then just getting hit with towers. Like things falling apart, or things coming, information coming out that hurts, or whatever the case might be. And it just, like this Ten of Swords, it feels like it kind of happened over time. It was like one sword after another. What else does Gemini need to know about your recent past? And you're like, I already know this stuff. But let's see, what else about Gemini's recent past? Yeah, Three of Swords. It was never what you deserved. Three of Swords are the Justice in reverse. It was never what you deserved. But sometimes when we go through things over and over again, like I feel like you have, we almost start to believe that it is what we deserve. Or that that's just the experience that we're going to be fated to, and that we're never going to be happy, or we're never going to be successful, or our life is never going to be good. Because yeah, I feel as if I'm speaking to a collective who has had a pretty hard life. And the universe wants you to know it doesn't have to continue to be like that. Like, it doesn't always have to be so hard. But of course, I feel like the first thought that's going to come to mind is going to be, why would I believe that, But let's just keep moving. So what do you need to know about where you're at now? Because you have released blocks with the Six of Cups in reverse. So releasing the blocks of the past. Remember, you're not what's happened to you. You're who you choose to become. Current energy for Gemini, please. Showing up as the Empress. You could be male or female, it doesn't matter. But then you have the Six of Swords in reverse. You feel stuck. It's like you can't move past this painful energy. It's like you you feel like you're stuck in the past. Not like literally. It could be literally, but it's like you can't move forward from it, is what it feels like. The King of Swords, and yeah, there's the Six of Cups. It's like stuck in the past here. Trapped in the beliefs of the past, the trauma of the past. And the biggest thing that's in your way from living the life you truly desire is the past. But I don't feel like, you might not want that to be the case, it just feels like you can't move forward. Current energy for Gemini. My gosh, you just feel heavy. You feel weighed down. So what can you do about it, right? Like, I think the hardest thing that we have to learn to do is pick ourselves back up. And when we get kind of knocked down time and time again, the last thing you ever want to do is pick yourself back up, because you're like, why would I do that? I just get knocked down again. It's almost as if the universe is saying that, these experiences that you've had them. You've experienced them. You've been through them. You've learned from them. You've grown from them, hopefully. And you don't need to go back there. So we don't need to fear the past repeating itself when we've learned from it and grew from it. And if you're focusing on being so stuck on what could have been, should have been, would have been, if things would have been different, it's almost like the universe is saying everything has played out exactly as it needs to for your soul to grow and learn in the way that it was meant to for this lifetime. And it doesn't mean that you're just fated to these experiences. I truly believe that we have a certain fate and then we have a destiny. And that fate is going to be a product of the life that we're kind of born into, the experiences that we have that are out of our control, the beliefs that we attain from those. And our goal, especially through like a spiritual awakening and a spiritual journey, is to break out of those and understand that we don't have to choose that experience. We can break out of that and live a better life, but we have to choose to believe that that's even possible. When I was at the lowest point of my life, I had very little faith in the universe, but there was a glimpse or a glimmer, I guess you could say, that a faith that I had that things could get better and things could improve and my life could still be what I wanted it to be. And even though it was small, I clung to that. And I tried my hardest to make that the core of my reasoning and my why and the steps that I took. And the more that I did that, the more that my life actually did improve. And going, from taking it from someone, like I watched my life fall apart. I lost friends, I lost everything. I lost my career. I'm very lucky that I didn't lose certain family members. I lost some, but not all. And that experience was so traumatic that to this day, I'm still healing from it. And I probably will be for the rest of my life. But it was the best thing that ever happened to me, because through that experience, the life that I was able to rebuild was even better than the one that fell apart. And I wouldn't have been able to build the life that I have now if I hadn't have gone through that experience. And so I'm not saying this to say, oh, all of our journeys are the same or anything like that. But what I am saying is that I truly believe if we are willing to look at things from this place of everything is happening for me, not to me, and we consciously make the choice to try to see things in that way, which is so hard sometimes when it feels like things are just completely unfair, and it's hard to find the meaning in our pain when it just feels impossible to do so in the moment. But the more that we can lean on that belief, the more that it will actually start to show up in our life. I now see why that had to happen. I see, what the universe was doing with that whole experience. And it sucked and I never want to do it again, but I learned from it, I grew from it, and now I know, what I need to know now to continue to pursue my life in a way that is better than I would have been able to if that experience hadn't have happened. And There was a period of time there where I thought I'd never get back up. And I feel like, I don't know if I'm speaking to a collective that's trying to get back up or trying to rebuild or trying to move forward or what, but I do very much feel as if this is a reading, the universe trying to tell you, like, don't give up on the hope of tomorrow, or don't give up on the hope that you can still live the life that you desire, regardless of what has happened, regardless of what has been lost, regardless of how things didn't work out. The universe isn't saying you can't have the life that you desire. The universe is saying that, things had to play out the way that they did to get you to where you're trying to go, for the purpose of whatever you're meant to learn in this lifetime. And it sucks and it's horrible, but it doesn't mean that your life is over. It doesn't mean things can't get better. And I feel like right now you kind of have this feeling that it's never going to get better, which is understandable, but you also, it's a catch-22, because it's understandable you believe that way because of what you've been through, but at the same time, what we believe is what we experience. So if we cling to the belief that things are never going to get better, we're going to continue to sit in that energy and sit in the life that reflects that back to us. So we have to be willing to dig deep into the belief that maybe things are working out for us in a way that we're not really able to see. Maybe the universe does have our back, and I don't have an answer for every single one of you and like what the purpose is, but I can tell you, just based on this reading, the universe is saying there is a purpose for your pain, and you do have an opportunity to transmute it into something positive. Current energy for Gemini. What does Gemini need to know about their current energy? It's like you're scared to put yourself out there. You're scared to try. You're scared to embrace life again. With the Knight of Wands in reverse, either you're scared or you don't see the point, because you're like, well, why would I try if things never work out? Either way, again, your feelings and your experience is so insanely valid, and you need to know that you are not wrong for thinking the way that you are, but you also have the power to turn things around for yourself. And you might be like, how? Like, I don't see how that's even possible. And I get that. Like, I get how impossible it might feel in the moment. Again, I've been there. But what I can tell you is that there is always a chance that things can get better. There is always a chance that you can experience all the things that you haven't gotten to, or all the things you feel like you've lost. You won't be stuck in your pain forever. You won't, you don't have to be stuck in your pain forever, and you don't have to allow that to dictate the rest of your life. You certainly can. It's, I do, and unfortunately I've experienced a lot of people who, go through really painful experiences and allow that pain to completely control them and to dictate their decisions, and they become the people who have hurt them, and they allow that pain to become and to totally consume them. And that is absolutely an option, but you also don't have to choose that path. You still have the ability, and maybe you're not, I'm not saying you are or aren't, I'm just kind of giving overall advice for what you're going through, but I can tell you with 100% certainty that things can get better. And that's the point of what this reading is trying to say. Like, your pain has a purpose. Things absolutely can get better. Looking for the purpose in what you're going through, or at the very least kind of surrendering to the experience and allowing it to take you to where it takes you, is going to lead to better things. But you're going to have to trust a little bit more that the universe does have your back, which is not easy. I get it. I get why you wouldn't, but it is in your best interest to trust so that things can get better for you. What does Gemini need to know about their immediate future? Ace of Cups with the Five of Pentacles in reverse, and the Judgment, and the High Priestess. As you move forward, I feel as if you'll start to uncover the truth behind the experience, start to understand more about why things worked out the way that they did. For me, every single thing that was lost in my life was replaced by something better. And it doesn't mean that I don't value those things that were lost. It doesn't mean that I didn't have to grieve them or go through the experience of believing that they were never going to be replaced. And I'm not saying everything can be replaced, but that was my experience, was everything that was lost was replaced with something better, or the feelings that were lost from whatever experience was replaced with better feelings. Like if I lost family members in that time, obviously nothing is ever going to replace that, but the love that I experienced, the joy, the happiness, the peace that I was looking for, I still got to experience all of those things, even though I went through so much pain. And the universe wants you to know that you can do that exact same thing. As you move forward, there's a need for you to connect a little bit more with the universe, with your higher self, spirit, God, whatever it is that resonates with you. That divine connection will bring you a lot of peace. It was something that I turned my back on for a really long time because of everything that I was kind of going through. But when I reconnected with it, that's when my life started getting better again. So, the universe is asking you to, and maybe you're trying, and if you are, lean on that and know that you are supported and protected beyond this physical realm, and that the universe really does have your back when it comes to creating a life that you desire. And it's not that the universe didn't have your back when these things happened. A lot of times we don't realize that the universe is actually trying to lead us to better things by taking things away, or through experiences we learn lessons that we need to learn to become whatever it is that we want to be. When, again, finding that purpose in the experience is what leads us to, being able to transmute it into something better. And, I think a lot of the time I get the question, well, how do I do that? There is no just shortcut, this is exactly how you do it. A lot of it just comes from being willing to surrender to the experience with the belief that everything is happening for a reason. And that belief can take you so, so far. What can Gemini expect moving forward? But you don't want your past to hold you back forever. You don't want the pain and the experience of your past to be the limits that you place on your life, because it doesn't have to be. You can heal from this. You will heal from this. As long as you're focusing on the healing, you will heal. And, the time that you put into that healing, into the growth associated with it, is only going to lead to good things. Look at that. Chariot with the Lovers here. This is literally like taking you to what you deserve. Moving forward to what it is you truly deserve here. Because like I said, you didn't deserve any of this. There was a purpose for it, but that doesn't mean you deserve it. And the more that you lean on that purpose, the more it's going to take you to bigger and better things, to better places here. Because this is, I think that you doubt that you'll ever get here. And you doubt you'll ever get here because you look at your past and you're like, well, look at all this proof I have for never being able to have what I want or what I deserve. Your past isn't proof. Your past is an experience that needs to be experienced, felt, validated, healed from, but it's not a proof of what is possible for you in your life. Your life and the possibilities that exist in it are beyond what you have experienced. But if we look at our future through the lens of our past, we will always see limitations. We will always see blockages. We will always see reasons as to why we'll fail, or we'll end up alone, or we'll never have what it is that we want and deserve. But your past doesn't have to be the roadmap for your future. Your past can be the experience that needed to happen. It can be the stepping stone. But it doesn't need to be the roadmap. And I feel like as you progress on this path and as you progress on this journey, there's just this need to trust. And it's not an easy thing to do, but in those moments of doubt, just lean into, maybe it'll all work out. Maybe this is happening for a reason. Maybe the universe does have my back. And it doesn't have to be something that you believe, with full faith, and you don't ever waver on that, because that's not realistic. But it is something that you can try to lean on in those moments of doubt, and in those moments of pain, and in those moments of healing. And the more that you do, I promise you, the more you'll start to experience that being the case. I asked what you can expect as you move forward. You got the Chariot with the Lovers. Moving forward towards what it is that you deserve. What else does Gemini need to know moving forward? Whoa. 10 of Pentacles. Look at that. And there you are, Queen of Swords, 8 of Wands, 10 of Pentacles. This is still ahead of you. your happiness, your abundance, your ability to experience what it is you want, this is still in your future. This is still in your energy field. This is still yours. So don't think that you've lost your opportunity to experience the good. The good still exists in your life. And maybe you know this, and maybe this is just a friendly reminder. But I can tell you from experience that going through really hard experiences and the test of your faith that you experience through those experiences is actually where your faith is built. I've learned now to lean on the universe for pretty much everything that happens in my life, knowing that, I still have doubt and I still have emotional moments, don't get me wrong, but knowing that the universe is heavily supporting me and guiding me to where it is I ultimately want to be, even if I have literally no idea how or what that looks like in the present moment. Your abundance and what it is that is meant for you is protected. You are protected and guided, but we only experience that to the extent that we believe in it. When we believe that we are protected and guided, we take steps in that, which actually creates that reality for us. So don't let your past hold you back forever. Don't hold on to what should have been, would have been, could have been. And that's not an easy thing to do, right? I'm not saying just get over it, because that's not realistic and that's not helpful. You will get over it because you will get through it, I feel like, is what this is ultimately saying. And you will get to the point in your life where you're able to look back and say, I did that, I experienced that, it had to happen because I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't go through that. And when you get to that point, that's where you can really find that closure in saying, I that was horrible and it was awful and I don't want to do it again, but I get why it had to happen. And I know that from this point forward, whatever does happen is only leading me to good things. Again, your mindset is going to be the root of your results in your reality. And you have the choice of what mindset and what perspective to take on. And I'm not saying it's easy. We have neural pathways, right, in our brain. And when we're used to so much pain and suffering and believing we're undeserving, that's what our brain is constantly telling us. That's what we constantly affirm in our both inner world and our outer world. So you have to consciously be willing to retrain your brain to think differently, to process life differently, and to open up to a new way of thinking, processing, and experiencing your life, which is literally going to directly reflect that back at you. The spiritual saying is as above, so below, as within, so without. As you change your inner world, as you heal, as you grow, as you adopt new ways of thinking, your life is going to change. It's like a law of nature. It's like as you change, your life is going to change. I'm not saying it's literally a law of nature, but I've watched it happen in so many lives, and I can tell you with 100% certainty that can happen in yours too. But you have to make the choice to make that happen. And that's what a lot of people miss, is they wait for that day when things, improve, when in reality you are the only person who is going to come in and make your life better, and you have that power to do that. All right. I'm going to hop on over to the extended. We're going to focus on what can you do right now to ensure you're moving forward in alignment with your higher self. Otherwise, thank you so much, Gemini, as always, for your support of my channel. I obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Gemini.